perfect day to be on the river. It's all metal. Oh! And I dropped it in the waters. Welcome back to another episode of the Michigan Magnet Man. I'm back here in Cass City, Michigan, and I have found tons of railroad spikes in this area. I am yet to throw my new 1,200-pound double-sided Brute Magnetics magnet here, so I'm looking forward to that. If you are new here to the channel and you are not familiar, I am the Michigan Magnet Man. I am a magnet fisherman, an outdoorsman, a metal detectorist. I go out and do anything outdoors. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button and turn on those alerts so you can keep seeing all my up-to-date content every week. So the last time I was here, I caught 16 different railroad spikes, which is a lot. I have a heavier magnet now and a stronger magnet, so I'm hoping that makes it a little bit easier to catch some of these bigger things that I was feeling out here in the river the last couple times that I've magnet fished here. I've been here 2 or 3 times. You've seen that in a few of my episodes. And without further ado, here we go. So I did use almost all 100-footer rope. This last spot I only had a 65-foot rope, so I think it makes all the difference. Now, as I've said a few times, it can be very difficult to throw a heavier magnet over and over and over. So if you are just a beginner, I suggest getting a lighter magnet, something that's only going to weigh a couple pounds, like a 750 pound. Once you get the hang of it, you'll want to move up to something a little bit bigger, maybe a 1,200 pound. 1,200 pound seems to be what I enjoy the most. It doesn't feel too tiring on my arms. It is definitely still a workout though. Just want to give a shout out to Brute Magnetics. Thanks for the shirt. Fits great. If you haven't, go check out the Brute Magnetics website. www.brutemagnetics.com for all your magnet needs. And with the first find today, we've got a lucky nail. And our next find, we've got a giant piece of metal. This is part of the railroad track itself. I found these out here before. They're super heavy compared to a lot of the things that I found here. Now, as I pull in this magnet, you can feel the bottom of the river floor, which gives you a really good idea if there's a lot of rocks in the area that you should avoid, or if it's really mucky. I got something heavy on here right now that I'm pulling in. You can really tell the difference when there's something on your magnet. Once you've caught enough of the same thing, you can kind of guess what it is. With my Wukong magnet, I was able to guess if I was catching a railroad spike or not. Every time I did, I was able to after a while. I've caught a lot of those here. I'm surprised I haven't caught one yet today. Oh, we got something. Now I gotta be careful when I'm pulling it up because the bottom of the bridge here is all metal. Oh! And I dropped it in the water. So now I'm gonna catch what I just caught. Hopefully I can pick right up onto it. Whatever it was. I guess we'll trade one thing for another. And my next find, we got a windshield wiper blade. This is officially the second windshield wiper blade that I've ever caught magnet fishing. Now, if you see all this muck on here, there's a lot of green muck down at the bottom. That's actually showing a lot of growth. I've noticed that in the area around all the rocks that are in the water, a lot of this algae and other plant life is starting to form now that the sun has been out a lot. In Michigan, it's gotten up to 75 degrees one day. Next week, it's supposed to get into the 80s, which I'm really looking forward to. If you've been with the channel for a while, you know that I've been magnet fishing out in areas that are frozen. It's been winter here in Michigan, and it's been miserable. But now that it's summer, I am enjoying myself a lot more out here. And on my next find, I got a piece of pipe. This is the green algae stuff that I'm catching a lot of at the bottom. It's catching up on my rope, which hasn't really ever been an issue before. And it's not really an issue, it's more annoying than anything. But very bright and very green. My next find, we got a little stick stuck behind here. We've got a railroad spike. Like I said, I've caught like 26 of these out here. And this is the #1 spot that I have around my area where I find stuff like this. If you haven't seen any of my other episodes, you'll know that this is an old railroad bridge that was turned into a walking bridge for a walking trail here in the area. And on my next find, we've got another railroad spike. So this makes like 28 railroad spikes that I've caught in this area the past 3 months or so. And I've got something heavy out here. It looks like I got another spike. And we've got another railroad spike. And on my next find, we've got yet another railroad spike and a little nail. I am so sick of catching these railroad spikes. I've caught so many. And on my next find, we've got this ear-shaped. Now, I have caught one of these before here. I'm still not sure what it is. It's got to be some sort of shackle or something that was part of the railroad that was here. If you know what this is, go ahead and comment down below and let me know what it is. Just a little tip, when you are throwing this magnet out there, don't pull it in from the same spot you've been standing at the entire time. I find that if I move like a foot or two to the left, I can change the angle that I was dragging at, and it makes it a little bit easier to get more of the ground. On my previous video, I talked about throwing on a cross grid section, and that's where that would apply. You just have to move a little bit over each time, and you'll get a different line. I tend to throw it 5 or 6 times from each spot before I move. And it's just a piece of metal. It looks like it could have been a bracket of some sort on the railroad. Cool. I could feel something on there. Now, if you guys like my videos here on YouTube, make sure you're heading over to Instagram and following over there. At the time of this video, I just hit 3,100 followers on Instagram. I'm at 339 followers or subscribers on YouTube. Thanks again for all the support. Oh, yeah. And on our next find, we've got another railroad spike. And with my next find, we've got a little bolt. We got something on there. Oh, I recognize that. Ooh. And on our next find, we got another one of those shackles that I found. This is the 3rd shackle I've ever found here. It looks like I caught another spike. I've caught 8 spikes today. And I know it seems like a lot, but that's really not compared to the amount that I've caught out here prior. If you go back to episode 2 and 11, you'll see more railroad spikes. That's going to be all for today's episode, guys. If you like today's video, go ahead and subscribe down below. If you have not, head over to my Instagram channel as well and give me a follow. I just hit 3,000 followers on Instagram thanks to your support. Also, I have merchandise for sale. If you look down in the link down below, you will get a link to my merch. I have t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, you name it. So go ahead and go check that out. I'll see you guys next week.